Welcome back to the Neon Press. I am your host, Johan. Today we're going to be talking about whether or not DeFi is safe. And the short answer is no. Nothing in life is safe. Nothing is guaranteed except taxes or death. But today we'll take a deeper dive on some simple ways on how to protect yourself in DeFi. Firstly, I think it's important to understand what DeFi is, and essentially what it is, it's decentralized finance. Essentially, you're able to lend out and earn interest on your assets being various cryptocurrencies. Some of the biggest protocols like Aave allow you to stake something like Ethereum, or even in other protocols like Lido, you can stake Ethereum as well and earn an interest. Of course, this is a very low percentage, somewhere around 4 to 5% of most of these, but it is a guaranteed return. Now, this also means you can pull out your coins at any time and move it into another protocol. You can also earn money by staking your crypto in LP pairs and earn cryptocurrency that way. By providing liquidity to various liquidity pools, or LPs, they give you various interest rates based on the liquidity pool you are providing liquidity to. Now, essentially, DeFi allows you to just earn money on the money you owe. The first and most obvious tip I can give for everyone, and this may be obvious for most people, but for people just entering the space, this is not so obvious. Your seed phrase is essentially your way to access your wallet from anywhere in the world. Keeping that safe is paramount. That is essentially the key into your wallet. Now, even with your password being changed, if someone has your seed phrase, they can change the password whenever they want. Now, this can be scary, but it is a necessary thing in order to have access and custody of your own crypto. This question just keeps occurring over and over again, and people show me their Robinhood account and think they are invested in cryptocurrency when all they're invested in is an index fund or a spot ETF. Essentially, that cryptocurrency can't be moved from Robinhood. And so yes, you do have one Bitcoin in your Robinhood account, but you can't use it to interact with any Dapps, any decentralized applications that can give you any sort of return. Some exchanges are now starting to offer that. I know Coinbase just did an update, and now you can interact with various different DeFi and Dapps with their browser application inside of their exchange. Now, this doesn't seem very safe to me, but it's there for people that like that. I do not recommend it though. I recommend having custody of your own crypto, aka having the seed phrase. Now, moving on to step 2 is storing that seed phrase. Of course, keeping that seed phrase is paramount, but where to keep it? Well, there's 2 options, and I suggest you use both. The first one is physically writing it down on a piece of paper, notepad, whatever, and putting that into a safe or safety deposit box is pretty much the gold standard. The second way that you would be able to do this is make an encrypted file so that you can keep it digitally on a thumb drive, and then, of course, keep that in a safe or safety deposit box as well. And like I mentioned in the beginning of this tip, it is the best practice to use both the physical and the digital, and it's better to keep it encrypted. So tip 3 is still related to the seed phrase, and that is another obvious one that should be just common sense for people, but don't share your seed phrase with anybody. This is basically what people will be fishing for, because this will give them access to your account. And regardless of your password and you having access to the ability to change the password, if they have your seed phrase, they can change the account's password whenever. So be very, very careful of where you store your seed phrase. Now, the fourth one is moving on to another common sense one, but is one that is not thought about as frequently as your seed phrase, and that is using different accounts for different Dapps. Why would you want to do this? Well, if one blows up or gets hacked, then your entire account is not exposed. This is something that even the best of us have fallen guilty to getting lazy, using one account, not wanting to log into multiple ones. But let me tell you that it will be the end of you if anything happens. Crypto is still a very volatile and unregulated industry. Thankfully, NFTs do have IDs and can be verified on Etherscan to be seen where they go, if they're stolen or scammed away or whatever happens, but it's still highly unregulated. This sort of thief will be caught eventually, but it's not something you can deal with right away. Something you have to report to the FBI, and then they will deal with it eventually. But thankfully, it will be dealt with eventually. It's something in the pipeline for someone else. But yeah, the best practice is going to be using a blend. It's always not going to be using one or the other. For keeping yourself safe in DeFi and crypto, it's recommended obviously to move your long-term holdings into a hardware wallet, something like your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, Layer 1 coins, AVAX, Tron, BNB, etc., etc. Stuff that you want to keep off the market exposed. But if you want to interact with something, you can transfer that to your hot wallet, say your MetaMask, and then from there you can go and interact and play. This is the best recommendation, but of course they also recommend that you have at least 2 different hot wallets. This way you can send cryptocurrencies to your first hot wallet that you know you can interact with trusted Dapps. The second one you can use to interact with new and unknown Dapps that you are skeptical of. Tip number 5 is going to be very mindful of what websites you're interacting with your mobile device, especially if you're using a mobile wallet like MetaMask. Now you can use MetaMask on your desktop as well, and of course then you have to be careful of what websites you're visiting as well, and you know which ones I'm talking about. But MetaMask also tracks your IP. You can look up various other videos on how to remove this if you would like, but it's something to be mindful of. Now, why would you want to be mindful of the websites you're visiting? Well, MetaMask and most hot wallets unfortunately saved to your phone. And while it's saved to your phone on your device, if you visit various websites, it can be seen or stolen from you. Number 6, and this is the one that I have fallen victim of myself recently, and it's be aware of the contracts you are signing. Read them, be mindful of them, because there are very malicious ones out there available. Myself, I can give you a first-hand experience example of what happened to me recently. I recently lost my Power Up NFT, the number 94. How this happened, I was recently interacting with mainnet-blur.io. I was trying to claim their recent airdrop and was just signing contracts, regardless of what was popping up, trying to just claim the airdrop. Nothing populated to my MetaMask, and I thought nothing of it. I returned a few days later to try to claim my Power Up NFT reward, pending reward, somewhere around 50, 60 bucks, not that much, but was looking to turn it into something else, but it wasn't there. Thankfully, everything with NFTs is traceable, so I went over to Etherscan and checked out what happened, and apparently while signing some of those contracts, it claimed the airdrop, which I never received. It took my NFT and listed it on the marketplace, and it was sold. And it was washed between multiple different accounts and now is in the possession of another individual, which is being sought out by the FBI now, but more on that later. But yeah, you can interact with just various contracts that might just be claiming to give you an airdrop. And somehow it's listing my Ethereum NFTs on the marketplace. Now, thankfully, it was only one NFT, not the hundreds of thousands of other ones that I have. But At the end of the day, it is a viewable transaction on Etherscan and can be easily prosecuted by the court. Something that'll happen eventually, not overnight, but something in the pipeline, like I said. And the last tip for today, and this is one that you probably heard all of last year, and you'll continue hearing this year. If it's not your keys, it's not your crypto, man. Again, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you have a Robinhood account and you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge in there, that's not your crypto. If that exchange blows up, they can sell that and take it away from you and use it as collateral. Even Coinbase has this in place. Most exchanges, crypto exchanges and non-crypto exchanges like Robinhood, will take your assets if they go bankrupt. And this is the year that we will most likely see a ton of bankruptcies due to the earnings recession. Well, just keep that in mind. Not your keys, not your crypto. Get a hardware wallet and keep your long-term storage off the grid. Get a hot wallet and get multiple of them. Stay safe, my friends. Nothing's ever completely guaranteed. I'm a first-hand example. It always happens. You can't stop it, just you can mitigate the damage. I hope everyone else stays safe though. I'll see you on the blockchain.